Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So, did you see what happened today? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you saw what happened today. Was not a great day. Wasn't a pitiful day. Not a pitiful day. But it's not an awesome day, is what I would say. Right? We're kind of moving sideways. We've kind of been moving sideways all weekend, and leading into today. The past 7 days, we're down like 5.68%. I know that's not fun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry that you're not seeing the opportunities that are laid in front of you. But that's just me. That's just me. Yeah. But we also saw a hell of a lot of news happen, a hell of a lot of news pop off, right? Wow. There are a couple of things that, I'm going to warn you now. They involve the new regime and new regime family. Just a couple of things that I came across. And we're not going to talk about the political side of it, except where it comes to crypto regulation. Okay. The Trump family, through American data centers, is merging with Hut 8 to create American Bitcoin. Now, if you don't know, Hut 8 is a major player in the Bitcoin mining space. So what they're saying is that they're aiming to create the world's largest Bitcoin mining operation. Hut 8 will maintain 80% share of the business. I'd like to get an understanding of the deal itself. We'll probably get a look, because I think Hut 8 is publicly traded. Current Bitcoin, when you think about what it is that's going on there, Eric Trump, is supposed to be the chief strategy officer, whatever that means. Because remember, he's also on the board of advisors, newly anointed, for Metaplanet, another what I believe is a name deal. So I'm looking at this and I'm examining this and I'm saying to myself, this might not be a great situation. And the reason why I say so is because you have another story out that's pretty much putting it all out there, saying that World Liberty Financial, co-founded by Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, raised $550 million through governance token sales, with the Trump family entitled to 75% of net revenues. That should stop and make us think, because regulators, such as the chairman of the Financial Services Committee, says that this level of involvement by, that family's companies in crypto makes it hard to regulate. I don't know about you, but that is not a position I want the government to be in, where they have to stop and think about, how do we regulate? How can we regulate? And the reason why I say so is because that could lead to poor regulation, and that poor regulation could lead to not so great situations for the average person, is what I would say. I'm dying to know what the Hut 8 deal is. I'm dying to know what the Liberty Financial deal is, like how that's actually set up. But this isn't the first time that I've seen those numbers. So I'm pretty sure it's dead on. Like, I've seen those numbers repeated many a time. I worry about, forget about the political part. Just focus on the crypto regulation portion. We need to have sound regulation, right? Real thought, real everything, not here's a regulation that then gets massaged because of. And when you have people in government saying out loud, "Hey, this could be a problem," like acknowledging the fact that it is a problem, that's a big deal. That's something we should be wondering about, because a bad regulation could be something like not regulating ATMs, Bitcoin ATMs. Not, saying something like, well, we don't need them to have, KYC and, AML requirements, things like that. We don't need regulations that are just going to blanket accept whatever the crypto industry says. Right? We don't need that either. That would be a really, really bad thing. So we need to be paying attention to that. So when crypto regulation comes, we should not just be thinking, "Oh wow, that's great for crypto." We should also be looking at the downside. There's going to be a plus side, but there could obviously be a downside. And that's something we need to pay attention to, right? Because it's the downside that's going to hurt most. If there is a downside, it would hurt the bulk of the people that are out there. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being dead serious. That could be a problem. But let me get to tonight's question, which Hutanic, is letting me know that, hey, got to get to it. Tonight's question: will Bitcoin see $75,000 before it sees $90,000? Yes, no, other. And if it's other, you better have a really good reason for other, and you better put it in the comments, because wow. I don't know what Bretton Woods is, so I don't even know what that means. Educate me, please. You have to ask oneself, where does the money flow when the United States defaults on its debt? Dang. I thought I was being nice in how I was wording everything. Hutanic just says, nah, skip that. We're going for the jugular right here, right now. Bam. Straight up violence. I can't even put him in the corner for that, because yes, this is why I'm saying we need to pay attention to that crypto regulation, because it's going to be the regular person that gets hurt. It's not going to be the rich. It's not going to be the wealthy. It's not going to be institutions. It's not going to be the banks. It's going to be the regular person. And believe me when I tell you, we have a hell of a lot more to lose than we have to gain. Because a lot of us right now, we're just trying to maintain, man. We're just trying to maintain. I had a conversation with somebody today, and they were like, wow, I got, 4 point something on my review, and then I receive a blanket email to the whole team. That whole team consisting of double-digit numbers of people, and we were all told, mind you, only 2 people got 4 point something. Everybody else got 3 point something, or 3 or less, right? And we all just got told, hey, if things go well, it should be a 3% raise. 2 reasons why that person should be upset. 1, because it's supposed to be a merit kind of thing. And if she got 4 point something, excuse me? How is she equating to everybody else who got less? That's 1. 2, that company is obviously not taking care of their employees, because a 3% raise does not meet the minimum to make it so that they have a level dollar, level value in their dollar. So that's actually a pay cut. If you were at like 4.1, 4.1, okay, the value of your dollar remains equal. Right now, they're saying, well, the value of your dollar goes like that. That's not cool. That's 2 ways people are getting screwed right there. The reason why I bring you that story is because that's not the only person that's got that same story. Remember, her whole team, regardless of, their merit, whatever, regardless of that, is facing that 3%. Oh, wow, gee whiz. 3% in a market where people are expecting 4 point something inflation. Call it 4. Call it 4. That's a 1% decrease. That's a painful thing to think about. Hey, A-Pause, what's going on? You didn't do your research. What did you mean to say? Just checking. What did you mean to say? You invested in yourself. Leroy Tice, what's good? Hutanic, I didn't say hello. What's good? Apologize for that. Here comes my education. Bretton Woods was when 44 countries after the Second World War determine what money is. That's okay. I wonder why it sounded familiar to me, but I didn't have the specifics. Thank you for educating me. See what's really cool about this community? Somebody always knows more about something. And it feels really good to be able to ask somebody, hey, educate me, please. I don't know about that. I don't know what you're talking about. Educate me, please. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm pretty sure he snickered a little bit, but still, that's not the point. Habits are hard to change. Work on it, girlfriend. Work on it. Ugh, habits are hard to change. I expect more. So the question, obviously, every day is, have you invested in yourself? It used to be the other one, but now we're focused on, have you invested in yourself? Right? The other night, last night, I got into it with Mr. Big yesterday, right? One of the reasons why I got into it is because I feel very, very, very like ridiculously strongly about it. Okay? I've had 2 really good friends lose their kids, sons, to suicide. And I need people to know that they have value, which is why I'm trying to teach the whole thing about invest in yourself. That's why. So just so you know, it's a little bit more than just a statement to me. Anyway, then you've got what bro? What's this bro thing? What's this bro thing? I don't know what that means. The bro. What's the bro thing? What now? Don't make me. It's Monday. I can put you in a corner on a Monday. That's not a problem. That's easy. It's easy. Might even be fun. Say something funny so I can put you in a corner. It is heavy. Listen. It's not diminishing in this country. It's growing. So I'm sorry that it's heavy, but it's not something that's getting smaller. That's actually a sad thing. It's getting bigger. So yeah, I'm calling it out. I have a tiny little bit of a platform, and I'm going to make my stand. That's my stand. I will die on the hill for that one. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Strategy invested as expected. Basically, 1.9, basically $2 billion in Bitcoin again. You want to know who else spent $2 billion in Bitcoin? No, 2 young dudes, early 20s, young dudes. Talented young dudes, no less. So yeah. Anyway, Mara's thinking about issuing debt, basically. And they're a mining company. They're a mining firm. To buy more Bitcoin. How's that sound? And they're not doing it behind the scenes. They're not saying they want to do it behind the scenes. They're saying they want to do it at the market. What? 2 billion? ATM? At the market. What? Tell me that doesn't make you stop and go, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, what? Listen, I read that, and I was like, that's some serious stuff. Ham's House, what's going on? GMB3, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. He pegged the name, GMB3. So, yeah, people are seriously bearish. They're kind of hunkering down. They're spending less. Their sentiment is low. Larry Fink came out and said, listen, with the way everything's going, Bitcoin could diminish the dollar's dominance. Who's shocked? Are you shocked? I'm not shocked. Like, who's shocked? I'm not shocked by that statement at all. Inflows over the past 7 days have diminished. Yeah. So that's a problem. In response to Hutanik's message right there. Wow. And that's why you kind of stop and you think about that. And I'm looking at consumer sentiment. I'm looking at debt. I'm looking at repossessions. There's a lot of stuff that I'm paying attention to that I think all of us need to pay attention to, because it's going to affect our bags. It's going to affect how much we have, how much we don't have to play with. And it's something that we're going to have to contend with. Ham's House, have you invested in yourself? Hutanik, have you invested in yourself? Actually, I think you already answered that question previously earlier or something like that. I believe you did. What else is there? Coinbase has requested a DC district court to resume its lawsuit against the FDIC, alleging the regulator has ceased sharing necessary information related to Operation Chokepoint 2.0. Shock! I have a major problem with whoever said Operation Chokepoint needs to be a thing. Chokepoint 2.0, that is. Because it was an all-out effort to just stomp and hopefully squash a burgeoning industry. And not just from a business perspective, but from a personal perspective. There were people that were denied financial services. People, regular people. I don't care about their title at some company or whatever. I care that they were a regular U.S. citizen, not doing anything illegal, not proven as of those moments, and not proven now. Damn it! And they were denied services because somebody pressured banks to do that. I don't blame the banks because they got to jump through hoops. And at that point in time, the government, and even still now, wields a lot of power over them. Government picks up the phone and says, hey, you're going to do this. That's what you're going to do. So if there are people still in their jobs at, leadership levels, and I mean leadership levels, they should be fired. They should absolutely be fired. Why should you have a job? You thought that was okay? Draconian measures like that, you thought that was okay? It wasn't. It's not now, it wasn't then. It's not cool. Right? I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to put food on the table, but I'm saying they can no longer be trusted to keep the public's best at hand. Because they've proven that they cannot. So there's my problem. If I didn't mention it, I invested in myself today. Thank you, Hutanik. I'm investing in myself with all of you as well. Oh, that one, that sentence. Thank you, Hutanik. That sentence right there. Ham's House, I've done a reasonable amount of research today. No, the new line, because you haven't been around, so I'm not going to bug you. But the new line is that you've invested in yourself. Rewind this video, you'll understand why that's a big thing. Anyway, 8Paws. One of the buy now, pay later loan companies allows you to stretch your fast food charges. Klarna. So imagine using, DoorDash. Imagine getting some DoorDash for some like chicken McNuggets or some Chick-fil-A McNuggets or something. Now you can pay like one McNugget a week or one nugget a week. Or for one nugget a week. And what? Everybody laughed at me. The giggles were just like overflowing when I said people were buying, Lucy eggs, the way they're buying Lucy cigarettes. Well, they're not even called Lucy cigarettes. They're called Lucy's. It's when a store cracks open a pack of cigarettes, usually Newports because they're neutral for everybody. You crack open a pack of cigarettes and you sell each cigarette one by one. Now they're cracking open a dozen eggs and selling them one by one. Thank you, Ham's house. So imagine you're gonna take out a buy now, pay later, basically a loan to pay for fast food. I was going to save this conversation for another day, but we might as well have it now. Right now, the economy is building itself or has built itself to be better, not better, but made for you to rent than own. Do the math. You buy a house, you take out a mortgage, and you have a whole bunch of stuff that you have to pay for, but that's tough because the price of homes have gone up so much that most people can't afford those homes, right? There are a lot of people out there that are saying, oh my gosh, I can make so much money if I sell my house. But you know what? I think I'll keep it because house prices have gone up so much. I don't even know where I would be able to live. You'll find people that are, I know somebody that's moving to Spain just because they can live in Spain for like $600 a month, in an apartment downtown in a nice city. And they pull like, I want to say 10 grand a month. So at $600, even if you spent $400 on food, it's like a 1 or 2 bedroom. I think it's a 2 bedroom. So imagine if you still spent $400 a month on food, that's only $1,000 a month for somebody who's pulling in 10 grand a month. What? Even if you said they were only pulling in 5 grand a month. What? Spain is turning out to be a great place to be a digital nomad. If you want to buy a car, I said this the other day. If you want to buy a car, it's more advantageous to you, or they make it seem like it's more advantageous to you to rent one. It's called a lease. If you're a regular individual and own no company and you're leasing a car, I don't think that's the way to go. You might be paying less per month, but you're going to be paying a monthly bill for that car forever. And not for nothing, a lot of people, maybe they need that car to get to and from work. So now, if you look at the lease payments versus car payments, they're not that far apart. They're both very expensive and about to go up in 2 days. Okay, day and a half. So those are 2 leases that you've got going on. When do you have time to save? If you can get into the house, okay, be thankful that you were able to get into that house. And now work on keeping it. That opportunity might not happen again. Right? But here you are paying a monthly. But most likely, you didn't get a house, you got an apartment. That's a lease, living month to month. All of those single family homes, those single family starter homes that are being bought up by corporations, they're not going to be sold. They're not meant to be sold. They're meant to be given as leasing arrangements. You can lease that home. The price of that home to lease it is probably going to be astronomical. How are you going to save or have enough money to invest? Keeping you right here. Haves, have-nots. It's crazy, right? But I'm not spewing anything. I'm not talking about craziness. Go look it up. Get out there and look it up. Mortgages did not exist until after the last World War. That's right. People used to be able to go out there and buy their house outright. Live at home for a while, save your money, work hard, and then be able to buy a house outright. My father was able to buy a home outright. He was able actually to have that home built and paid for it outright. This was many, many a moon before. How many people can do that now? Even if you're loaded, you're not taught to buy the house outright. You're taught to use other people's money, and you'll pay the mortgage, or your trust will pay the mortgage, and you just keep, putting money into the trust one way or another. Get insurance. When you pass away, have the insurance pay into the trust. The trust then trickles down to the next trust of your next generation. Ta-da! We are not living in a society that is teaching people financial management, hence grow my bag. They're taught to save. Give us your money. It'll be safe. Is it? Look at the number of bank stories that I come out with. A little theft here, a little theft there a theft, there a theft, everywhere a theft. It sounds funny, but it's not. I'm sorry. It's not. MMT, or modern monetary theory, is the system we have been on since 1971, when the dollar lost gold reserves. No, they didn't lose gold reserves. They didn't lose gold reserves. They were removed from being tied to gold. Remember that? You know that. Yeah, we didn't lose anything. It was decoupled from gold. That's when the US dollar turned into a promise. That's when it turned into a promise. We promised to pay our debt. It's not backed by a damn thing except a government's promise. And if you were the United States in 1971, guess what? People trusted your promise for one reason or another. Where are we now? Our government is over $36 trillion in debt, quickly approaching 37. Still doing dumb things like introducing bills for tax cuts for the wealthy. Teaching the poor that, oh, hey, you not having to pay taxes on $150,000 less is good. It's not. It's not. You not paying taxes is a way for that funding that comes into Social Security goes away. That funding that goes into, unemployment insurance goes away because you're not paying for any of those things. You pay into that. That's your money. When you go on unemployment, that's your money that you're getting back. That would all go away. Those safety nets would all go away. Meanwhile, they're not teaching you how to live by the amount of money you have. They're teaching you to live beyond the dollar that you have. Mortgages, leases. I tell my kids all the time, do not move out until you can afford to buy your own thing. Electricity will take care of it. Food, taken care of. Comfy space, taken care of. You have to deal with your crazy, zany family? Sure, not a problem. But you'll be able to bank every dime. You'll be able to invest every dime that you get, live cheap, don't have to worry about it. And then when you have the money to go buy something of your own so that you can be ahead of the game, cool. I have to tell you, I honestly sometimes think I'm probably not going to be able to retire in the United States. Now, I want you to look around the world and start looking at countries that are paying people to move there. This is why you have to learn how to invest. This is why you must learn about the GMB3. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. You got to learn those things. I spoke to a young kid last week, little kind of like a mentoring session, and he was telling me how he invests in bonds. And I said, great, so you're really into investment? He goes, yeah, I'm trying to learn, trying to do as much as I can. And I was like, that's smart. You still live at home with mommy and daddy? He goes, nah, I don't. I was like, if you can, you should. He was like, huh? I was like, if you can, you should. Roof over your head, food in your belly. Give your parents a little bit to pay for everything, to help pay for everything, but you'll be able to bank a hell of a lot more. Bank meaning invest a lot more. Do that. Bite the bullet for as long as you can. You'll be way ahead of the game. The more that you can put in now, the way more you'll get later. And that way, when by the time you have kids, you'll be in a better position to do the same thing for them. My job is not to achieve this level and start my kids off at that level. My job is to achieve this level and push my kids to here so they start at this level. Do better than dad. Do better than your parents. Sounds obnoxious when you say it, but let me tell you something. For a parent like me, that is my greatest joy. So when I tell you my kids are smarter than I am, thank the heavens. I am blessed. I make these videos so they learn more. It's a big deal. It's a ridiculously big deal. These are lessons that everybody needs to learn. Whether you're young, whether you're old, you need to learn how to invest. You need to learn how to not give somebody your dollar or your fiat or your value so they can make money off your value. You make money off your value. That's the difference between saving and investing. That's the big deal. I missed a couple of things. Let me see. Ham's house, you're a great father. Thank you, Ham's house. I appreciate you. Thank you. Some people say you don't learn about life if you don't move out early. That's back in the day that you could have said that. Back in the day, you could have said that. You have hard-headed kids. That's something that doesn't change. Don't want to listen to their parents and all that good stuff. But hopefully they're smart enough to listen to this. Hopefully they've seen that the older ones graduate from college and not find a job. They've seen the older ones graduate from college, find a job, but it's not even in the field that they're in. Hopefully they've seen that. They've heard the stories about grown people, not kids from college, grown people having to move back into their parents' house for one reason or another. And it's tougher for those who don't have that option. Which is why we need to learn how to invest. That's why we have to learn how to invest. Larry Fink is not wrong. Bitcoin could diminish the power of the dollar going forward. But it's not that Bitcoin is diminishing the value of the dollar. The power of the dollar is diminishing itself. Every day, every week, every month, every year, every decade. Look at the value of your dollar. You're literally watching a fiat fail. But it's not just the United States. Look around the world and look at all the fiat that's there and start to do judgment on, well, how much could you buy with a dollar back at this date, this date, this. Those statistics are out there. I'm not making this stuff up. Go do your own research. Don't believe me. Go do your own research. Just saying. Converting to BTC means price of goods and services will continue to become cheaper and cheaper. Maybe. I think it's not that they become cheaper and cheaper. The cost of goods is going to go up. The value of those goods, right? Italy will give you a house if you remodel it and keep it for at least for a set number of years. One part of Italy is 10 years. You either have to live in it for 10 years or you have to long-term lease it for 10 years. In other words, somebody's got to be in that house that's going to give back to the economy. That's what that's about. That's what that's about. Yo! Lex Luthor, what's going on, my man? Salam alaikum. So, you wonder how and where we were supposed to do this. By the way, the kid he's a young man. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. This young man I had the conversation with, really smart kid, graduated from a really good school, has a great education, very capable, all that good stuff. For all intents and purposes, you could say he's a part of those people that do have privilege. And I was like, where'd you learn about this stuff? He goes, learn. He goes, I have to get out there and teach myself. Why is that? Why is that? Oh, it's most likely because there's a difference between the haves and have-nots. That one statement to me told me he's not a part of the haves. He's not a part of the haves. So he might be a little bit privileged because, that's just the way it is in this country. But he's not a part of the haves. He's one of those people that, I might have a little bit of privilege. I don't have that much privilege. I have to work for it. Maybe not as hard as you, because you don't have no privilege. But, yeah. So it told me where he comes from. And he broke it down. He was like, what? What's that mean? How's that? Like he's soaking it all in. And he's like, oh, wow. Now I see what you mean. I said, yeah. So we've got to start thinking about things a little bit differently. Not priced in BTC, you avoid all inflation. AI comes to BTC holders, no need to tax it. Not sure what that means, that last sentence. Not sure what that means. Or is that all and you just left out an L? Because right here it looks like AI. Sorry. Your keyboard, man, your keyboard. So when I look at everything, it's we need to learn about these things and we need to pay attention to what's going on around us, right? Because if we don't, we could screw up. Good case in point, that'll probably drop some jaws. Bitcoin has outperformed gold and the S&P 500 since election day, despite experiencing a decline in the first quarter. Wow. Wow. That's so back to that whole regime thing. The Trump family's cryptocurrency ventures, including the launch of USD1 stablecoin by World Liberty Financial, are complicating bipartisan efforts in Congress to pass GOP-led cryptocurrency legislation. Let that wash over you for a minute. Hutanik stated earlier, watch the money flow. When fiat fails, watch the money flow. What? I'm not going to say money. I should stop saying money. Watch the value flow. Who's going to have the most, be holding the most amount of value? Because we keep saying money, but it's value. It's value. Yeah, prices should always fall in a productive society. That's right, should. But when you're telling me egg prices remain astronomical, long after the crisis that created the problem has long since gone away, and they're still allowed to do it, and they did it before and caught what? A slap on the wrist. That was it. That was it. Pretty sure they still made more money than that slap on the wrist. When things go awry, it's not going to be the rich and the wealthy. Actually, there are no rich anymore. It's not going to be the wealthy that pay the price. It's going to be the poor. Because if you're not wealthy, you are poor or about to be. There are just various levels of poor. But when you look at the distance between the haves and have-nots, the wealthy and everybody else, there is such a difference that it's not even funny. It's not even funny. It's a serious thing. It is a serious, serious thing. So this is why we have to pay attention to things like California's Assembly Bill 1052 aims to protect cryptocurrency users' rights to self-custody and prohibits public agencies from imposing taxes or restrictions based solely on the use of digital assets in transactions. Oh. And where California goes, a lot of other states will go. Where California goes, a lot of other states will go. That's a ridiculously big deal. California's trying to say, we see what's coming. Banks holding custody, all that good stuff. Easy way to tax, easy way to snatch. And they're saying, hold up on that. Let's think about this. Let's take a pragmatic approach to what's coming down the pike. And that's what that bill says. Wow. I want to see how far that bill goes, but that's a big step. That's a big, big, big step. Oh. Zhan Ketwan, a Chinese billionaire and mogul in the cryptocurrency and AI industries, is under increased scrutiny by the U.S. government. His companies Bitmain and SoftGo Technologies facing sanctions and impounded shipments. Let's take a peek at those impounded shipments and who's hurting because of them. Things are not made to be in our favor at all. That's not how it works. It's not what they're trying to do. So yeah, my question for tonight is still: do you think we will see $75,000 Bitcoin before we see $90,000 Bitcoin? Right now, out of 7 votes, 71% say yes, 14% say no, 14% said other. If you're the person or persons, most likely person, that said no, I want you to put it in the comments, please. I didn't see anything in the comments that said that. So I want to know. I absolutely want to know. Lex Luthor, have you invested in yourself today? Need to know. So there's a lot going on in the space on a flippin' Monday. On a flippin' Monday that we should be paying attention to. These are all things that are driving forward. I want to know if the Trump family has put any money into that new deal with HUT 8, or is it the name that's getting them in the door? Interesting, right? That's a tad bit interesting. And then merging with HUT 8 to form American Bitcoin. Okay. Know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at that deal and I'm just wondering, how does that add up? How does that add up? When stablecoins regulations come with the address off-ramp tech, let me read that again. When stablecoins regulations come, will they address off-ramp taxation? I have no idea. I have no idea. And it's not just off-ramp taxation. You do not have to off-ramp to cause an IRS event. A taxable event is what it's called. You don't have to off-ramp. There are taxable events just moving from coin to coin. What's effective with PayPal and Cash App? And you think the world is about to grow up? I don't know about that, man. Moving money with PayPal and Cash App is not easy. And that's not what I would be doing. I'd be thinking about, no, I'm going to send you some Bitcoin. I'm going to send you some coin in the equivalent of, and okay, cool. That's what we'll do. There are limitations with how much you can actually send in a single shot. So that they're not efficient at all. If you're sending a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, and then again, you also max out not just by the day, but by the week. So, and you can also trigger oversight. Somebody looking over your shoulder. What are you doing? So yeah, it's not as easy as you think. Moving money that way is not as easy as you think. It's not. There are absolute limitations. Absolute limitations. If I wanted to move money, I'm gonna do it, depending on what I'm moving it for, where I need to move it to, who I need to give it to, whatever it is. I'm gonna be like, yo, let's do this with, crypto. It's not for nothing. It's not. It doesn't even come down to me for. It doesn't even come down to taxes. It's the fees. It's the fees. I'll spend less money moving money with crypto than I will going through any kind of bank or app or whatever it is. Especially depending on how much I'm trying to move. Rick Ritchie in his house, and he invested in himself today. That is awesome. Thank you for letting me know. I was wondering where you were. Like, what the heck? So yeah, there's a lot going on that we absolutely need to pay attention to. Absolutely. Most people don't know an annual sum of paying someone $600 or more will trigger a 1099. Ever give your kids gifts? Yeah, that. Have a good accountant, own your business, talk to, your accountant about paying your kids, how that can help you. Have a business, own a house, talk to them about the Augusta rule. There are a lot of things that, you could talk to your CPA about. A lot of things. Sit down and find yourself a good CPA. It's a very big deal. Very, very, very big deal. If you need a CPA, Christy Nicholas is somebody I recommend. Been using her for decades now. Just saying. So there's a lot. There's a lot that we need to pay attention to that's going on out there that's going to affect our bags going forward. Anything that can affect legislation on a go-forward basis is going to have my attention. Absolutely going to have my attention. Anything that can hold sway on the regulations that get passed is going to have my attention. So if regulation gets passed that makes it easier for other people to make money, but doesn't make it equally as easy for me, I'm going to have a problem with. Because that's not the premise of crypto. And I'm wondering how this new move by Hut 8 is going. I'm dying to see how that plays out. Because I would absolutely, if I was holding Hut 8, I would absolutely get out. Absolutely. Let me see. Hut 8. Yeah, it's publicly traded. Ticker symbol is HUT, H-U-T. I knew it, but I needed to verify. Had to cook dinner, roasted chicken, wrapped in bacon with garlic and brown sugar glaze. Oh, that sounds delicious. I'm going to Rick Ritchie's house. I'm going over there. I'm hungry now. And I just had dinner. I'm hungry again. That sounds delicious. So yeah, a lot of the stuff that we've discussed today that's in the news, both this morning and this evening, right? That's all stuff that we didn't pay attention to that we could have, should have, looking forward. Oh, okay, there it is. I thought I was missing something. So you had a whole bunch of news this morning. Go read those articles. It's not that I'm shorting. It's the fact that I don't want to touch it. Hut 8 or Marathon. I'll go invest in Marathon. There are a lot of other publicly traded miners out there that I can invest in. Besides that, Marathon, I told you before, Marathon's the one that bought that, is now in the energy business. I'm all about that. I'm all about it. I'm definitely cool with that. Always invest in myself because I am invested. It's like asking a chicken if it was brooding its eggs. So what? I'm going to ask every day. Get over it. Deal with it. I'm going to ask every day. You never know. You could have an off day. And you need somebody to just go, hey, you invest in yourself? Just saying. Happens. Yeah, delete that. Delete that for sure. Delete that. You know why. Delete that, please. A-Pause is trying to get some free food, too. I'll take care of it for you. There you go. Little too on the naughty side. So yeah, there's a lot of news that happened today. Just today. I mean, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 articles in a day. All of which are going to, you should be paying attention to. That's nuts. All of those things are probably going to have some kind of effect on us going forward. really and truly. The statement from Larry Fink in his annual letter highlights economic anxieties. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Moving on. Highlights economic anxieties, advocates for economic democracy, and warns the potential decline of the U.S. dollar's dominance. I don't know that you can be any more direct than that. That's pretty doggone direct. And he's in a position where he can speak his truth. I said his truth. And he can afford to speak truth to power because he wields a lot of it. And he's saying, hey, things are not going the way they're supposed to. Maybe we need to work on that. So yeah, today's a good day to take a step back. I mean, it's obvious what's going to happen. No, it's not obvious what's going to happen. There are a lot of things that could change. I think what's obvious is that there are a lot of things that can affect what could happen. There's still a lot of things that can. There's a lot of decision tree analysis that has to happen. That's what I'll say. Chances might be high for certain things versus other things, but it's that decision tree analysis that we have to look at. I'm not going to put all my eggs in. Oh, it's this. Definitely this is going to happen. Nope. I'm going to do a decision tree analysis and understand if this choice is made, this choice is made, this choice is this. As we walk down the road, what kind of choices are being made and how that can affect my bag. Right? U.S. dollar doesn't do well and something happens with the U.S. economy, yada, yada, yada. Can you afford to go to another country and do what you do? There you go. That's exactly what I mean. Diversification, not necessarily against any fiat, but against any fiat-based problem. Slight difference in that statement. Slight difference, but a difference nonetheless, right? I learned about a lot of blockchains that didn't have tokens and how XRP will be irrelevant. I don't really buy into that. I don't buy into that. I really don't. Yeah, there were some issues with XRP earlier. Did I capture that? Let me go to this morning. Cosmos, Metaverse. XRP plunged following an initial spike caused by Ripple CEO announcement, with whale activity and market correction contributing to the sharp decline in value. I don't know if it was an outage. I heard it was something, but I don't know that it was an outage. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, yeah, all right, whatever. I don't think it was. I don't think that XRP is going to become irrelevant. Will it be as important as XRPL, the actual ledger? Who is it? PeerSyst has introduced a EVM compatible sidechain to XRP. That happened today. Yeah, I haven't had time to look into it either. I have not. So I missed a whole bunch of stuff. I'm pretty sure we'll hear about it later. XRP. Past 24 hours. No. No, I'm not hearing it. I'm not seeing anything like that. It's because it dropped below $2.10, and that has people like flipping out. Yep, with Axelar. Yep, I saw that. D-Mac, welcome to the house. Welcome back. Have you invested in yourself, young man? You telling us stories like this, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. But yeah, I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm just like, yeah, no, XRP is not hurting at all. XRP is not hurting at all. The with so I've been meaning to say this for a while. There's been pretty good news around Bitcoin integration, all that good stuff around a lot of the coins out there, including even Solana. And then, obviously with, XRP. And you have to ask yourself, who is manipulating? Not if there's manipulation, who is manipulating? Like all over the place. XRP, completely crushes the SEC case, only has to pay $50 million after spending, yes, all the legal fees and everything else, but only has to pay $50 million in fines, and it doesn't skyrocket? Yeah. D-Mac, you and me both, and a lot of us here. Right. 8 Paws, are you talking to me, who, Tanik? Like who? When you say you're, gonna have to use names. There's too many conversations that are going on, and we need to know who you're talking to. And Rick Ritchie, yeah. When am I gonna expect my shipment? Because I'm hungry now. Equally not excited about dollars. Yep. But it's not dollars for me. It's fiat. It's fiat. I'm not just looking at the US. I'm looking at fiat around the world. Countries don't pay people to move to their country if their fiat is doing well, if their economy is doing well. So yeah, around the world there are problems, big problems. I don't know about that. I respect your opinion, but I don't agree with it. Coinbase, that's something I want to bring up. Coinbase is actually working with Citi and who else? Citi and JP Morgan Chase for their IPO. It's expected to be freaking April? Oh, that'll be big news if that happens. That'll be huge. Like it should pump the market in a major fashion. Circle, not Coinbase, sorry. I'm just saying, Control F. Yep. Circle's game-changing IPO collaboration with JP Morgan Chase and Citibank. Stablecoin firm Circle partnering with JP Morgan Chase and Citibank for a potential April IPO launch, as reported by Fortune magazine. Circle plans to file IPO paperwork in late April following a previous attempt in 2022. The IPO could be the biggest crypto IPO since Coinbase in 2021. USDC stablecoins issued by Circle are second only to USDT in market cap. Circle CEO sees US dollar pegged stablecoins as a potential mass export product for the US. Already is if you look at USDT, right? So yeah. Market right now is not news driven. There are bigger economic rails at play. Yep. That's what I'm saying. It's not, is it being manipulated? It's who is doing the manipulation. That's what I was saying. Like who? I want to know who. That's not small. A lot of news out there that I dropped on you that, makes you stop and go, whoa. Like, what? Some things are immediate. Some things are in the near future. Some things are medium time. Some things are long term. Those are the differences. We need to pay attention to all of them. We need to make note, and we need to capture the opportunities. Markets always have some manipulation. Yes, but I'm talking about massive manipulation. Massive. to hold back XRP, to hold back Bitcoin, to hold back a lot of projects that are out there doing like just dropping big news all over the place. Massive manipulation. Massive. First of all, I'm not a fan of all these, OTC transactions around Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'll tell you that right now. There are absolutely people, the whales, that are mucking around with Ethereum for sure. Lettuce hands are mucking around with Bitcoin, right? But all these OTC transactions, but behind the back, we're going to buy $2 billion worth of. That's why it's such a big deal that Mara is looking to do something at the market. If that happens, that's a major statement, not a little one. A big one. A really big one. You forgot the curtain. Stop it. All right, everybody. This is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you have a good one. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do over here. I hope you like the channel. If you do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about us. And if you can, and you're not already, become a bagger or big bagger by going to growmybag.tv/sign-up. We got a lot of stuff going on. Big baggers. Thank you very much, DMAC. Big baggers. There will be a big bagger meeting second weekend of April. That's right. And we're going to have a lot to talk about. So if you've got comments or agenda items that you would like to cover, the email address, drop me a note, and I will collect all of them and see which ones we can actually get through on that day. Everybody, thank you so much for your time, your patience, and as always, thank you for your trust. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Oh. Let's end the question. I can hear certain people screaming at me. Will Bitcoin see $75,000 before it sees $90,000? Yes, 67%. No, 22%. Other, 11%. But we're not going to count other because they never told us what. So yeah, I'm just going to say it like that. We'll end the poll right there. 9 votes. 9 votes. I was hoping for more, but 9 votes. Can't be too mad at it. Everybody, again, have a great night.